Hello and welcome back. This is Jennifer McGuire. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Well, today I thought I would show you how to not only do mirror stamping, but also mirror die cutting. This is a great way to get a new look out of any stamp you have and its coordinating die by creating a mirror image. I really like to have two images that kind of face each other. It gives a fun modern look. And I'm going to show you two examples, the bird card and the feather card. Now the stamps I chose to use today happen to be cling stamps, but you can do this with clear stamps too, no problem. These are the products from Spellbinders and they come with the coordinating dies. Now to do this technique, you do also need a large solid stamp. You can either use the back side of some kind of large stamp that you have, but I prefer to get a large clear stamp. This is from Neat and Tangled. It's called the backdrop stamp and it's perfect for mirror stamping. It's just one solid block. I'm first going to show you how to do this with a MISTI stamping tool, then I'll show you how to do it if you only have an acrylic block. Now I'm taking my MISTI and I'm emptying everything out of it, including the black foam. I'm going to lay my backdrop piece right into there. So this is just a clear background stamp, laying it right into my MISTI. I'm putting my bird stamp right on top, and I'll close the MISTI door to hold on to that bird stamp. Now do note that this MISTI won't actually close all the way because I have two stamps in there, but that's okay, it'll still work. I chose to use black VersaFine ink today because I do want to clear heat emboss this. So I'm inking up my stamp and I'll stamp this bird right onto that solid clear stamp I have in there. And I'm actually going to do that twice so I get as much ink as possible onto that large solid clear stamp. Then I'm going to take my white cardstock, lay it right down carefully. You don't want to wiggle, just go straight down, rub it around completely, and then peel it off, and you'll have a perfect mirror image. So it's a complete mirror image of the original stamp. Now I chose to use VersaFine black ink because I want to clear heat emboss, but you could do this with any dye ink or pigment ink, but it really does work great with the VersaFine black. So now I need to stamp the regular image, just as it was originally intended, and that I'm just going to use my MISTI again, just because it's easy. I'll place my white cardstock into the MISTI. Again, I don't have the foam in there because this is a cling stamp. If this bird were a clear stamp, I'd keep that foam in there. So now I'm just going to ink up my stamp and stamp him down, and there we have, look at this perfect mirror image. And because I left that bird in my MISTI, it's perfectly centered. See how they're perfectly centered looking at each other? But I do plan to die cut this out just for the card that I want to do today. Again, I'll add some clear embossing powder to this and heat set it. And you'll be able to see that I have two images that look perfect. They look like they were meant to be this way, that I used two different stamps. I could just stamp a sentiment between this, but again, I plan to die cut it. But first I want to show you this whole process again using the feather. Then I'll show you how to do this without a stamping tool. So my Neat and Tangled backdrop stamp is still inside my MISTI. I'm going to place the feather onto it and transfer it to the door. Then I'll ink it up and stamp it right onto that backdrop stamp. Now again, I'm using a cling stamp here. That feather is a cling stamp, but you can definitely do the exact same thing, but use a clear stamp instead. Just use whatever you have. Okay, so now that I have a lot of that ink transferred to that clear stamp, I'm going to press my paper down, really press it firmly so that you can be sure to transfer all the ink from the stamp onto your paper. And the nice thing is I'm stamping onto a clear stamp. That clear block is a stamp, so it's going to transfer the ink nicely. Adding some clear embossing powder to it. Now before I heat set that, I'm just going to go ahead and stamp my feather as it was originally intended. So I'm inking up again with the VersaFine ink, stamping that down, and check out that perfect mirror image. And when you use the MISTI stamping tool, they're positioned perfectly there. So they are just centered nicely and you have this perfect mirror image. But again, I'm going to go ahead and die cut mine out. Adding that clear embossing powder, and then I'll heat set both of those. I think these feathers are really beautiful. Okay, as I promised, I wanted to show you how to do this mirror stamping if you do not have a MISTI stamping tool. So I have my Neat and Tangled clear backdrop stamp laying on my work surface. I'm inking up my feather with VersaMark ink this time, and I'm stamping it right onto my Neat and Tangled backdrop. Then I'll lay my paper onto that, and that'll transfer that clear VersaMark ink onto the paper. The reason I'm doing VersaMark ink this time is just to change things up. I'm going to add silver embossing powder to it. I have a little doggy die cut in my silver embossing powder because Lila put it there. So people have asked why I have a doggy die cut in there. That's why. So anyways, I added my silver embossing powder and heat set it. And look I have a mirror image, even though I don't have a stamping tool to do so. Okay, so now I have my coordinating dies. So I have one bird die in that set. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out my regular stamped image with it. I'm just lining up the coordinating die, putting a little piece of tape, and I'll run it through my die cut machine. And I'll do the same with the feather, but I don't have the die to cut the mirror image. So I'm going to show you a trick so that you can use the coordinating die to cut out the mirror image also. But first, let's cut those out. So now I have my mirror image. See, it doesn't line up with the coordinating die. So this is the trick that you need to do. You need to cut it from some scrap cardstock. I chose orange so you could see it better. And I'm just going to trim some of the excess off. We need to line this up on the back of our bird. This is easy if you have a flashlight. So I have my scrap piece ready here, and I'm putting some pieces of tape on it so that I'll be able to tape it to the back of my bird. Okay, so I'm putting pieces of tape on there so it's ready to go to hold there temporarily. And you need a flashlight for this, or hold it up to the light, which I couldn't do in the video. So sorry about the bright light there, but I have the flashlight on my phone, and I'm going to hold my paper over it and line that negative space up behind it. See how I can see the light through that to see that I have it lined up. Then I'll press those pieces of tape down to keep that orange negative space in the right position. See how it's lined up there? You can see the light glowing around it. Then I'm going to take my coordinating die cut and pop it right into place into that orange negative space. And I'll press that tape down. Then I'm going to take this and run this through my die cut machine. And after I've done that, I end up with my mirror image die cut also. So this video shows you how to do mirror stamping and mirror die cutting with the coordinating die. So I'm going to do this again with the feather so you can see. I have my little negative space of the feather die cut. And I'm getting the little pieces of tape so it's ready. Then I have my bright flashlight ready to go. Sorry, it shines into the screen here. And I'm going to line that up behind it so you can see kind of an even halo around the stamped image. Press my tape into place. Then I will pop my coordinating die into that negative space and run it through my die cut machine. Any die cut machine would work for this. Okay, so now we have our feathers and our birds all die cut out. Now this technique works with any stamp, but I do feel it works best with outline stamps. If you try to do mirror stamping with solid images, it's a little tougher because you got to transfer a lot of ink, but it's worth a try. Okay, so I'm going to do some quick coloring here. I wanted to do a fun rainbow. I'm using the Arteza, somebody's got to tell me how to pronounce this because I'm not sure. The Arteza real brush tip pens. Now these are watercolor pens with a real brush tip to them. They are like the Zig Clean Color real brush pens. There are a few differences. They perform very similar, but there are some differences, and I will talk about those in a video very soon. But these put down a nice amount of color, and you can blend very easily with any kind of liquid. Today I'm using the Tonic Aqua Shimmer pens. These are like the Wink of Stella pens, but more of a silver shimmer to it. You can use a water brush if that's all you have. So I'm putting down color, usually 2 colors, and then blending them with my shimmer pen. Now, these Arteza pens are a little bit less expensive than the Zig. However, they're only available in a certain number of packs, and they don't have the color name on the side. So there are some advantages to them and some disadvantages, but they do perform great, and Lila has taken them over. She loves them. And I like this Aqua Shimmer pen because it has more of a silver or true glitter color to it instead of a gold tint. And I'll talk about that in a video very soon also. But basically I'm putting down color and just blending them together with my Aqua Shimmer pen. You could use water or a water and paintbrush if you wanted to do the blending. Really any coloring would work here, but I wanted bold color with lots of shimmer. And by the way, those birds were stamped on a Bristol white cardstock. Bristol cardstock allows color to move on them a little bit. You can blend colors better on it. So that's why I chose to use it. Okay, now for the note card that I'm putting these birds on, I'm stamping with VersaMark Ink, this gorgeous plaid background from the Ink Blot shop. with VersaMark Ink, and I'm going to white heat emboss it. So I'll have white on white here. But that white heat embossing on the white cardstock provides just enough interest in the background. It gives a little bit of shine and a little dimension, but it doesn't distract from those colorful birds that we'll add on top. Now I found that using the heat gun on that actually caused my note card to warp a little bit. So I'm going to put it inside a piece of folded typing paper, run it through my die cut machine without any dies, and that flattens the note card. So it's nice and flat now without any warping. Next, I wanted to show you the sentiments that I used. They are actually from a Birch press stamp set that is just a great set. This is one of my favorites of the year. There are coordinating dies available for it, but I'm using just the simple lined sentiments that say, "You are special to me," and "To my crafty friend." I want to white heat emboss these on black cardstock. To make sure that my stamp is straight, I'm using my MISTI, but you can use an acrylic block if you prefer. I'm going to line that stamp up in the bottom of my MISTI. Then I'll use my anti-static powder tool, stamp the sentiment with VersaMark ink onto the black cardstock, and then add white embossing powder. When stamping with the sentiment, you don't want to press too hard or that you'll lose the detail in the sentiment. So a stamping tool is very handy because you can stamp lightly. Okay, so now it's time to put my card together. I'm using the Darice foam. I really don't know how to pronounce anything. I went to engineering school, by the way. I'm not good with words, so you got to forgive me. I'm using these foam strips because they are thin and very flexible and easy to tear. So I can kind of put the pieces down and turn them to fit perfectly on the back of any die cut image. Really like these adhesive strips. So I'm going to do the same on both of my birds, and then I'm going to put them onto the top of my plaid stamped note card. It almost looks like a little heart the way that they're positioned. Next, I just glued my sentiment strip right across the birds. For accents, I chose to use Lucy's Cards Iridescent Jewels. These jewels are fun because they pick up the color of whatever you have on your card. Very subtle, but they do pick up that color, so it really matches whatever project you have. I'm using a jewel picker to pick up each little gem and drop them into dots of liquid adhesive that I have on my card. The liquid adhesive that I'm using today is multi-medium from Ranger. It dries matte, so if any of it oozes out the side, you won't see it. Next, I wanted to add a little white dimensional drop to the bird's eyes. This is Nuvo Drops from Tonic in the white color, and I actually put it into an ultrafine bottle so I can squeeze tiny little drops out. So far that seems to be working for me, and I can get tiny little areas with the Nuvo drops. So here's the final card. You can see the shimmer with the coloring. Since we use the Aqua Shimmer pen, you can see those gems catching the light in the background and the dimension to the eyes from the Nuvo drops. I decided to create a matching envelope. So I have a pink envelope here from Simon Says Stamp, and I stamped along the flap of the envelope a little message from the Papertrey Ink Little Happy Mail stamp set. This is a small stamp set. All the messages say a little happy mail, but in different fonts, so you can find one that matches the style of your card. And here's the feather card. It's very much the same as the bird card, but I changed the sentiment across it. I hope you'll give this mirror stamping and mirror die cutting technique a try. It really is a great way to get more out of your stamps. All the supplies that I use are linked below in my YouTube description, or you can go to my blog for more information. In the middle are a couple other videos you might like, including another way to do mirror stamping. As always, I really do appreciate you spending time with me today. I know my videos are longer, but I hope that they teach you some fun techniques. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.